My phone's been acting weird, so.
Oh, okay. We need to see if we can set a meeting with you to come in and kind of do like a family team meeting where we sit down and kind of go over some things and kind of discuss, where we're going from here. I want to make sure that I have all the information about the kids and everything, anything that we need to know. I've already asked you, we talked about it a little bit a couple of weeks ago. But I wanted to see if you could come in, if you want to bring Mr. Smith, and if you want to bring your parents or somebody like that too, that's fine. Or if you want to do it by yourself, whichever way.
Okay.
But we were going to see, we have got some time if you wanted to come. Say maybe on Friday, or we could do Monday the 22nd or Wednesday the 24th.
Well, depending on whether or not Jeremy will want to come, he is only off on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So unless.
Okay, well then would you like to set it up for next Wednesday on the 24th?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. That's fine.
Okay. Kristie, have you got your calendar there? Yeah. Okay. All right. Let us just double check to see kind of what time. Are you open that day? Okay. All right. So we can do. What time would be a good time for y'all?
Probably like right after lunch sometime.
Okay. Say maybe 1 o'clock. Would that work?
That's fine.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to put it down here on the calendar, and if y'all could just come here to the DFCS office, and we'll just sit down and do like a family team meeting. And this is just basically where we try to gather some information and just kind of go over where we're going from here, and kind of talk a little bit about what a case plan will look like, and just give y'all information or answer any questions that y'all may have.
Okay, so this is the same meeting that you referred to on our last phone call about any questions.
Yes, yes.
Okay, now did you speak with your director about whether or not I can get that information from you?
Okay, I have my supervisor here, and she's going to talk with you. I've got you on speaker, and this is Kristie Norton, my supervisor.
Okay.
Okay, so what questions do you have, Ms. Liz?
I was wanting a copy of all of their medical appointments that they've had thus far.
Okay. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and give that to our attorneys who can give it to yours, and then your attorneys can give that to you.
And now why wouldn't you be able to give that to me personally, since I'm personally requesting it from you?
Okay. Normally, ma'am, what happens is that whenever we get that, those are actually our records. And so
right. But you were supposed to be able to get them in the first place, like things to change their Medicaid, you got without my permission.
Okay, because they were actually in foster care. And
right. But you're still, just because my children are in foster care, my parental rights don't disappear.
You're absolutely correct. And as I just tried to explain before you cut me off, that what we do is that we will gather those records. We will give those to our attorney, who will in turn give those to your attorney, who can give that to you.
Okay, so how soon can I expect that to happen?
Whenever we have them, we will give them to our attorney, who will give that to your attorney, who can give that to you.
But you don't already have any records of anything that they've gone to already?
We do have one for Jaden, and that's the only record we have so far.
Have the other two children have had their medical evaluations?
They are scheduled, I think, to do that this week.
Okay. That's, from my understanding, supposed to be one of the first things that happens, but yet again, has not. Anyways, I also need the foster parents' information, because I'm under the impression that as well as I'm allowed to.
You are not allowed to that, ma'am. That is confidentiality. We do not give out your information or your phone number. as well as we don't give out foster parents' information or their phone number.
Okay, then why are there in the Georgia whatever handbook you guys go by says that there's been many instances where foster families and biological families have worked together to ensure the reunification process?
Well, there are such foster parents as called a partnership parent. Some of them we have to ask their permission if they would like for us to give their information to the parents. In some instances they will. Some foster parents will do that, and some foster parents will not.
Okay, well, can you go ahead and initiate that process for me, please?
I'm sorry?
Can you go ahead and initiate that process for me, please?
I will be glad to ask her and see if she wants to give out her information.
Okay.
Did you have any other questions?
When did you say that? When did you say that Kylie and Jaden have their medical appointments set up for?
I think that's this week. I'm not 100% certain. I would have to get with the foster parents to ask. But Jaden has already had his appointment.
Right. That was the quote unquote evaluation he was sent to Atlanta for, right?
No, that I don't know where that has come up about an evaluation in Atlanta.
I have it on tape.
Well, I have the report of what he went for. He did not go for any type of. He went for a wellness check. It's just a doctor's appointment that children go to when they come into care, where they check their eyes, nose, throat, everything,
right.
make sure they're okay. And I have a copy of that report. That's what he went to in Atlanta, and he was not sent to Atlanta for that.
That's what I'm told. That's what I'm told.
Well, we're telling you, if you'll just listen, I know exactly what happened, and I'm trying to explain to you. He was to live with a foster parent in Atlanta, and that foster parent in Atlanta took him to a doctor, of course, in Atlanta, and he had a wellness check. That's all that was just a standard, regular doctor's appointment.
Okay, so he was placed in Atlanta the very next day after y'all removed them from my house, correct?
I don't know what day that was.
Is there not a way you can check on your records?
I can, but I'm not at my computer at the second.
So you guys aren't sitting in your office with me on the speakerphone?
My computer is down at the moment. It is being worked.
You aren't sitting at your computer.
I am, again, if you will let me finish, I'm telling you now that see, every time I start speaking, you want to speak over top of me and only one person can be heard at a time. I just said that my computer is actually down at the moment. It's being worked on.
Okay. Does Sabrina not have access to that information, or maybe Marissa or anyone else?
I'm sure does. And I'm asking what is the relevance to your question right now?
Because I would like to know that information when my son was actually physically and virtually placed in Atlanta. And you can't tell me that because your computer's being worked on. But I know everybody, can I finish, please? I know everyone else in your office with a laptop or a computer has access to this information if you were to just sign in on your account. So if you would please get me that information, I would be very grateful.
Well, whenever we have that and I'm able to look it up, then I will text it to you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, so do you have any other questions today?
Did you guys find out about that black eye that Juice had?
There was no black eye to the best of
there was. Yes, there was. There was a very predominant black eye on his left eye, above his eye, on his brow, actually. And his sister saw it, his brother saw it, and they both didn't know what happened. And I need to know what happened.
Okay, and what day did you see that on?
October 11th.
Is whenever you saw Corvus. Yes. Okay. Well, was that here in our office, or that was?
No, it wasn't. It was in the courtroom.
Yeah, because we saw him too, and I did not see a black eye.
Well, I mean, I don't know that, and I know I saw him that day, and I know my mother saw it, And I know Marissa remembers me asking her about this, and she was supposed to be checking with the foster mom. So now, since you have no idea what I'm talking about, it's starting to worry me that my son is running around with bruises that y'all are trying to cover up.
No, because I think
why hasn't he been going to school?
To the PLC?
Yes.
Okay, well, the PLC is not transporting him and will not transport him to and from where he is in the mornings or in the afternoon.
Don't y'all have somebody that picks them up and brings them to school?
No.
Right, but Kylie and Jaden. Or do they ride the bus?
They ride the bus because they are actually school-age children.
Right, well, they rode the bus with me as well. So I'm just asking, since you guys wanted to change everything. So I'm just asking. No need for the undertone. Why is Juice not in school?
Okay, again, I just said that there is not transportation to and from him to get to the PLC.
So does the bus come and get him, or does he stay in his house with this woman that's giving him black eyes?
Excuse me?
I said, is he being taken to school and picked up, or is he being left at home with this foster mom that's giving him black eyes?
I don't need the undertones, but to answer.
Well, I had to repeat myself, so I just wanted to.
Since your phone was breaking up, so I missed everything of what you said because your phone was breaking up. But he is not left home. I can guarantee you that. But he is going to daycare every day.
How is he getting there?
He gets there by the foster parent.
Okay. So the foster parent couldn't take him to the same school that he was going to.
That is
but it's
correct.
in the same county.
That is correct.
So that was too far within the same county for the foster mom to ensure that my child had that regularness. Right.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I said that was too far for her to drive within the same county just to make sure that my son did have that constant, that one thing in his life that hasn't changed.
Well, now.
That's important, right? And also, I did, while I've got it on my mind, I need to get, I'm not sure really if this is something I do to my attorney or I have to do it for you guys or whatever the actual process is. But I do need to get a copy of Kylie and Jaden's taped interviews. I'm not sure if you guys know the process about going about that or not.
You would have to contact your attorney.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll just go through him for that then. So, again, could you go ahead and get me Jaden's physical report, and then I guess I will wait until maybe Monday for the other two kids.
Well, whenever we have it, we will definitely send it to our attorney who can send it to your attorney.
You said that you do have Jaden, so can you go ahead and send that to your attorney, please?
Yes.
Okay, and then I'm assuming since the other two have a appointment this week that you can get that to your attorney no later than Friday. So, again, I will check back Monday for that.
Well, whenever we get it, we will send it to our attorney because we have to wait until
stop reading your script.
You're talking over top of me.
Because you said it so many times. I understand. Do not read a script to me.
Actually, I don't think you understand because we have to request those records. Those records have to be done. And
you can actually get a copy of a physical evaluation at the doctor before you leave, technically. So, request what?
We have to go through our proper channels to actually request those.
Oh, my God. What proper channels when it's the foster mother that is taking them?
I think that maybe you just need to go ahead and contact your attorney and let him know all of your complaints and your issues and let them know what's going on if you're not happy with my answers.
Oh, okay. So again, I never got the answer to whether or not those bruises were looked into.
There was not a black eye, so I'm answering your question again.
No, you weren't.
Again, I'm answering your question. Your question was, did we not see it? And again, we were all there in court.
I didn't ask you.
There was several people there, and not one person saw that. And I'm sure his guardian ad litem probably also saw him, or at least came around.
Right.
I was one of your children.
They were very well aware of this black eye in court.
Okay. Well, that was not something that either one of us has seen. No one has brought it to our attention.
Yes, I did. I brought it to your attention the last time I was on the phone, and it was made a report.
I have not. This is the very first and only time that I have ever spoken to you on the phone. I know you have told several people that you have spoken to me. Honey, I have not spoken to you since your children have came in care. Now, back whenever Jaden was moved, I did call you and leave you a voicemail message to let you know that Jaden was moved because you had asked for you to be notified. I called you and left you a voicemail message.
And I thank you
for that. Other than that, I have not spoken to you at all on the phone.
Since that one day, I realized that. And every time I've spoken about speaking to you, it has been in reference to that day. Just to clear that up.
Okay, so who have you asked to speak to me? Because I will be glad. I even called yesterday, Sabrina and I did, because I think you had questions then. We even called you yesterday and left a voicemail message for you, and it was my voice because I'm the one. I guess I don't know if I called you from my phone or from Sabrina's phone, but I know I left you my phone number on the voicemail message.
Yes, I'm well aware. I've called you on your cell phone before, and you're not.
I have my phone. None of my phone calls are ever erased.
Ma'am, I don't care. It's not. This is irrelevant. I need to know. I made a report the last time that I spoke with Sabrina on the phone that I wanted this foster mom looked into for one, the grab marks that my mother reported on the last day of court on Kylie's wrist, and two, a black eye that my son, Corbin, had on his left eye above his brow. So that report, last time I spoke with her, has not been looked into yet. Can I assume that?
No, do you remember when I was on the phone with you and I had you on the phone and I walked in Marissa's office and I asked her, and you heard me asking her if she knew anything about this, and she said no. And I was with Kylie myself on that Thursday in the courthouse for about 3 hours.
Right.
I explained to you that the judge talked to Kylie. And his
but Kylie wasn't the one on the
and no one saw marks on that child.
Okay.
On Kylie.
Okay. Again.
Nobody.
Again, my mother is in a very well-respected position in the community and would not just make something like that up considering her line of work. So, again, if my mother brought it to my attention, it needs to be looked into. Now, this is the second time I am verbally making a report to the department to look into whatever foster mom my kids are with, to look into the fact that my daughter had grab marks. She's been yelling at them from inches from their face, and you've already had to talk to the foster mom once already about this. And three, the bruise on my youngest son's left brow. This is my verbal report. Please consider this a second report now.
Okay. If you have issues or concerns with child abuse or neglect, you may call 1-855-GA-CHILD.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can you tell me what that was again?
1-855-GA-CHILD and file a report.
Okay, I will do that.
Furthermore, we have talked to Kylie. We have talked with the foster mom, none of these things that you say or are making allegations that are happening in the foster home are happening. Now, what's odd to me is that this foster mom has had, okay, over the last 2 years, this foster mom has had over 20-something children in her home.
Oh, I'm sure.
Not one of those children has ever made a report or an allegation or said anything to anyone about being mistreated or abused while being in her care. We have our resource developers.
And why have you already talked to her about the screening? Why have you already had to speak with her?
We have addressed that with her to where she is ready for Kylie to be moved from her home because of making the false allegations. We have spoken with her. We have looked at your children. There are no marks. So, I mean,
my son did have a bruise on his eye, and I understand that they are children and things happen. Because while we were at visitation the last time that I did speak with you, Jaden he fell down somehow and split his ear open on the table. So, I mean, things do happen. They are children.
They are.
But I mean, it was there, and I'm not making it up. I just would like to be reassured that, he just probably just bumped into a table or something. I'm not trying to accuse anyone of anything. I just want to know what happened.
Okay. Well, we have addressed with the foster mother. Nothing has been seen. These children go to daycare. If they was ever a mark or there was ever any suspicions, we have very good working relationship with most of the foster carers and the schools and the school counselors. If there's ever anything, I promise you they will be the first one to contact us or our supervisor, but nothing has been seen.
Okay. Okay. So
I can continue to address this with the foster mother. She is a very sweet Christian lady who I would love to leave my own children with her. That's how much I trust this woman. Of course, you really don't know you don't really know somebody until you know them, okay? Right. But I would definitely leave my own children with her. Now, over 20-something children, not one of them has ever made a report. Now, we can keep going out there and we can keep questioning her to where she'd be like, okay, now she has to protect her own other foster child that she has, and she has to protect her home, and I totally get that. We continue to make allegations. If there's something there, we will be the first ones to address it because we want every child to be safe. But again, you're jeopardizing because she's already, kind of getting agitated with all of this, with us constantly questioning her about, did you see this? What's going on? Kylie's saying that you're yelling at her. What's happening with this? We're going to talk with Kylie again. But this is also going to mean that these children are going to have to be moved.
Right.
So I'm just wanting to let you know that. And I want her.
I just want to, the only reason I'm pressing any subject is because I want to ensure that that's not happening. And I was never made aware that there was any contact to the foster parent about any of these reports that I've made. So this is the first time. This is the first time that I'm hearing this. So now that I do know how she's finished, if you would like to finish your sentences, I would like to finish mine. Now, I did not understand the fact that this had been addressed multiple times. I definitely do not want to. I don't want to bother this woman since I'm being such a nuisance right now, apparently. I do not want to persuade this woman in any way to make my children be split up again into the foster care system. I do not want to bother anyone. I just want to make sure that my kids are being taken care of the way that they're supposed to be. And now it's like threats almost. Like, okay, well, we can keep trying to make sure that what your daughter is telling you is wrong, but they're going to be moved again. Like what?
That is any foster parent that, whenever there is continual allegations made, we want to know. I mean, that we were the first ones who want to know if there's ever a concern with any child We're in the business of child welfare. We want to know. But, if there's something there, we will definitely address it. We always do. We contact foster moms. We'll contact daycares. We'll find out what's going on. But again, none of this was seen. We did not see that. We did not see any grab marks on Kylie. We did not see any bruises.
The grab marks, I did not visibly see. My mother saw. So that is going off the word of my mother, who I trust her with my life, and I would never assume her to lie about anything like that. But I did not visibly see those marks on Kylie. But I did. I mean, the bruise on Juice's eye was there, and it was noted by both Keisha and Marissa. Okay. And so, I mean, I'm the only reason I'm hung up on that is just because I don't know what happened. And I mean, just coming from a mother's standpoint, I'm sure you can empathize with me somewhat about that. I mean, that's it. I mean, I just want to make sure that, it wasn't inflicted on him. I mean, I don't suspect that, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know, and it's killing me. It's killing me not knowing about these things, and I'm really not trying to be a headache to anybody. I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that. I'm trying to ease my own spirit in the meantime of this.
Sure. And we want to know, and we're glad to listen to you, or if you have any concerns, we want to know, but I mean, if we will address it as soon as we know about it, because we hear things all the time about, we saw this mark or we saw them at the visit. Which brings me to my next question. Have you been to Fort Point to do your intake?
I was going today, actually.
Okay. Don't you have an appointment? Or I know at certain times that they have, like, certain times that you can come in. So you have an appointment today?
No, I didn't have an appointment. I was just planning on going and filling out the paperwork because I found that would be best. That would be easiest.
Just make sure.
They wouldn't be opposed to that.
Okay, just make sure whenever you go that there can be somebody there to do your paperwork, because I know they're only in Ringgold like 2 days a week, I believe, Tuesdays
right.
and Fridays.
Right.
And just make sure that, if you are going, I guess it's probably to the Lafayette office, if you're going today.
Okay.
I would just call before you go, because I'd hate for you to go that far and then them not be able to help you or whatever. I would just always call first.
Okay.
And Ms. Woods, I did tell you yesterday or day before when we spoke, I have talked to the foster parent about the yelling and things like that. I did that as soon as I left court. And this is what I am hearing. And I explained to you, I told you the story, how Kylie did the exact same thing to me sitting in the courthouse Thursday.
What?
I was in a
she was yelling at you.
I was
sitting. I'm sorry that you were yelling at her.
I was sitting in the courtroom with Kylie Thursday.
I'm not trying to make you mad. I noticed your tone change. I'm not saying that you were yelling at her. I was just.
No, I'm just. Hear me out. I want you to hear what. Because I think I know what's going on here because I saw it with my own eyes.
Okay.
Okay, so Kylie was telling you that the foster mother had yelled at her.
Yes.
I was in the courtroom with Kylie on last Thursday. Kylie, we were standing there. We were in a conference room where all the judge's staff was around us in every room. Of course, there's going to be cameras, there's recorders, there's everything there because it's a courthouse for safety reasons. I asked Kylie, she kept trying to walk out into the hallway, and I asked her to please come back in the room right there and stay in the room with me because the other people were working and I didn't want us to disturb them. When I asked her to walk back into the room, she said, "Are you mad at me?" And I said, "Well, no, sweetie, why would I be mad at you?" And she said, "Because you yelled at me." And I said, "Kylie, honey, I didn't yell at you. I just simply asked you to come back in the room and stay in here with me." I used a very low, calm tone of voice. I didn't have any reason to be mad at her. She's a child. Children are going to do things like that.
Right.
And I said, "Now, Kylie," I said, "I did not yell at you." I said, "There is a difference in asking you not to do something and yelling." And when I went to talk to the foster mother about the allegations of her yelling, she told me, well, Sabrina, I have never yelled at her, any child I've ever had. She said that when I ask her not to do something that Kylie wants to do, I'm told, why are you yelling at me? And she has had to address the exact same thing. And I didn't tell her that story about what had happened at the courthouse earlier.
Right.
So it's almost like when Kylie is being told no, not to do something, or wait just a moment, we'll do it in a minute or whatever, she thinks people are mad at her and yelling at her. And
right.
if you remember,
I think that same,
well,
I completely understand.
Right, and she did it to me, and obviously there was all kinds of witnesses right there that
right.
heard it, and it wasn't happening.
Right.
And the other thing is, I told you also on the phone the other day, we do have her lined up with a counselor that's going to start working with her and talking to her about things like that, because Kylie needs to make sure, we need to make sure that she knows the difference between somebody telling her no, that you can't do something because it's for a safety reason or out of reason for respect or something like that, and people be mad at her. Right. There's a big difference. So that counseling should start any day.
Okay, and that would also be something that I would want copies of as well.
Well, now,
but through the attorneys, whatever. But
okay.
I just want to make that known that as well. You know, that's medical records, whether it be mental or physical.
Okay.
Have y'all? Is there any kind of are there any kind of services being addressed with Jaden?
Not at this time, no.
Okay, so he is back at Battlefield Elementary, correct?
At Battlefield Primary.
Right. Primary. Sorry, I get it too.
Yes,
they're both going to separate schools.
Mm-hmm.
But they're both, Kylie and Jaden are back at their usual school, correct?
Yes, Kylie never left.
Right, I know. But I was just saying those two are there.
Right.
So he's getting the services that he was getting before from the school, I'm assuming.
Yes, they wouldn't stop any services. Whatever he was getting before, he would be getting now, because he was just re-enrolled.
Okay. And the copies from the school records and the everything from Atlanta, also I would like to include in what I need from your attorney.
Are you talking about the school records from Atlanta?
Well, not. I'm assuming he had to have the physical to be enrolled in Atlanta. So
no, that's just an evaluation that a lot of foster parents just do anyways. But he did not go to school in Atlanta because from the week that he was there, he was on fall break.
No, he was there from the 21st until when they got to this new foster family.
Okay, because I remember that with the foster mother who was there, because we put, daycare services and, it's called CAPS in place, so for a CAPS certificate, whenever he got there, because it seems like it was on a Friday, and it seems like, if I remember correctly,
he got there on Monday.
They was on fall break that week, because I remember her telling me, I said, well, what school was he going to? And she said, well, he's on fall break this week. I was like, oh, okay, because, so it may have been like one day he may have actually went to school.
In Atlanta?
Yeah, I think he may have only went like one day, if that.
He was enrolled.
Okay.
No, I'm asking. You just said he went a day, so he was enrolled.
I would assume so. Without my computer, without looking at it, I cannot tell you the exact specific dates he was there. He moved.
Anyway, you guys could just kind of call me back when you're more prepared. I would just like,
Well, you're asking like several questions that I cannot answer at this second, and I told you I would text you to let you know what day he was there and then what day he came back to the Ringgold area.
Okay, so you can text me that information.
Yes.
Okay, so will that be today?
as soon as I can get access to my computer, hopefully soon.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess that just about covers everything for right now, and I have both of your cell phone numbers in case something comes up.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.